Hello everyone, this is Stephanie. Welcome to another video. So today we're going to do a request, and it's the Burnished Lace bracelet that we made with round duos a while back. Instead of round duos, we're using pearls, and they only have one hole. So I've been working on this for a long time, trying to figure out a really good alternative to the round duo, and and many of you have asked me, can you do that with one hole beads? And yes, you can. Okay, so this is the bracelet. Here's the back. Okay, closes the same way. I'm going to take it off. So I have these little tiny beads at the end. I think I'm going to make, I didn't have any of the blue. And I'm going to come in a bit on the bracelet so you can take a look here. So I didn't have any of the blue. I just had little black fire polish at the end, but I might put a bigger fire polish at the end. So I made this little piece also, and that I think those beads look better. But so this is the bracelet, and it's made with pearls, and it's there's one hole, and we've used a little bit of a technique that we've used before to get the beads around them. Now this is the original, and I love them both. This one's a little bit smaller, maybe a little daintier. The center sits sort of like a diamond rather than a square. So it's, they're both beautiful. But if you don't have the round duo, then you can do this. So it's, we can, substitute beads. And you don't, even though the other one was made for two-hole project, one hole worked really well. I was really happy with it. And also what I did on the end with this is, which we didn't do with the one with round duos, and which you can do with that if you're using round duos, is this bracelet is made in sections, if you haven't already seen it. So they're like so, little squares, and 5 squares fit me perfectly with the other beads, but this is a little bit smaller, so I needed 5.5, so I was thinking, I can't put another whole unit on, so I made it a little extension here, which worked out great. And you can do that with the other one too. I wish I had mentioned that on the other one, because you can, it's the same bead sequence. I'm just, you can just put it at the end to just extend it a little bit, and it looks, it doesn't look like an extender. It looks good, I think, anyway. Okay, all right, so let's get a materials list going on this. All right, so let me see if I can get them. I'll bring them down. So you're going to need some pearls, and these are Swarovski pearls, but you can use any pearls that you like. And for each unit, I'm going to give you an amount. Okay, so for each unit, you're going to need 8. So that's here. See that unit? So that's 4 in the middle, and then 4 on the outside corner. So that's 8 5mm. Let me pull this aside. Round pearls. Now I totally love these pearls. I'm just in love with the 5mm pearl, and I'm usually an even numbered pearl person. 4, 8, 10, 12. Just 6, 4, 6, 8. I usually use 6mm pearls and many 4mm pearls, but I haven't really used a 5. And the round duo is 5, so I thought, let me order some of these really pretty 5mm pearls, and these are Swarovski, but you don't have to use Swarovski. I think they look just as nice with any pearl. And this color is, I think it's called Vintage Gold. Now I'm going to put everything in the description box below, and I notice that sometimes you're not finding the description box, because sometimes they collapse the box, on the video, and it's there's a little arrow or it says show more. So either click that arrow or the show more. It's usually in blue, and it will expand the box down there, and you'll see all the materials that you're going to need for all my videos. So that's where they are in every video. Okay, so I'm going to put it down there. But at any rate, you're going to need some 5mm pearls. So I'm going to need 8 of those per box. So depends on how many boxes you're going to use. So I have 5 boxes here, so I've used 40 pearls here. All right, so you need those. You're going to need some bicones, and I'm using, for the one I used here, the blue one, and I'm going to pull out just a teeny little bit. Whoops. Okay. For the bicones here, I used dark indigo, and don't you love that color? I totally love that color. I love this color. I think it's so pretty. It looks almost black on camera, but it's really a most gorgeous blue. I'm trying to get it under the light, but you know, it always films a little bit darker than it really is. It's a gorgeous, like deep sapphire. It's awesome sapphire blue. I'm going to use tanzanite because I don't have any of these left. So I wish I did, because I would like to make earrings to go with this. So I'm going to order some. And one of these just as on its side, you know, like at a diamond shape, like the round duo would make a great earring. It's a little bit smaller, so for those of you who like a teeny bit smaller earring, it's not that much smaller, but just a bit. So I'm using tanzanite, and you're going to need for 1 unit. I'm just doing per 1 unit. You need 20 bicones. So for 5, I needed 100. So I would, you know, just make sure you have enough. Don't, you know, if you're ordering, you know, order a little bit more, because you can make the earrings, you know, and generally, you know, you get a little discount for ordering more. So if you can order more, or if you're going to your local craft store, they, you know, they probably have bicones there, and you know, you can, you know, just buy them, you know, by the amount they have there. But just make sure you have enough, because you don't want to have to reorder them. Okay, so then you're going to need 2 either fire polish or 8mm fire polish, or Swarovski round beads. I have 2 I happen to have these beads. A while back I bought a whole bunch of 8mm and bicones, and I was making a lot of those flat spiral bracelets, so I have a ton of these left. So I'm using those. On this one I used the 8mm fire polish. This one I used 6. It's a little small, but I didn't have any blue beads or anything. I thought it might be nice smaller, but it isn't. I like it like that. So much prettier. It's got a nice big presence with those beads. You'll need those. You need 2 of those, or any bead you want for closure, but I would make it probably an 8mm. It looks good with the 8mm. You need some 15-0 seed beads, of course. You need a few 11-0 seed beads. You need just a couple of O beads, and the O beads are just I put, you know, on top and below the 8mm pearl, 8mm fire polish. You don't need them. I just like to throw things in now and again, and I have the O beads. You're going to need, as I say, a few 11-0s, just a couple. Like those are also going somewhere in here. Let's see where I put those. Yeah, so those are, you see, these are the things you can't see, but that make the you know, make things look nice. So I have an 11-0 before and after the bicone here. You can't, you know, if looking at it you wouldn't be able to tell, but it just makes the piece look nice. You know, those little touches are the things that you know, are the little extra things that make things look, you know, you don't say, well, look, there was an 11-0 there. You just say, wow, isn't that pretty? Okay, so you're going to need those. You're going to need a stop bead. Okay. Hang on to your hats. You need a size 12 beading needle. I know I complain about them all the time. You can use an 11. I mean, if I had 11 out, I would probably use that. And you're going to need some 6-pound Fireline. Okay, so I have about, per unit, I think you're going to use probably an arm span and a half, because you want to make sure you have enough. You don't want to sew these guys in. So there you go. Let's see, did I have everything? Yes. Stop bead? Yes. Okay, so once you gather up your materials, I'm going to get started making the Burnished Lace Redux. It returns with single hole beads. Okay, see you in a minute. Okay, so we're back, and I've threaded my needle with about an arm span and a half or so of Fireline, and I'm going to put my stop bead on, pull that through, and I'm going to leave about a 10-inch tail, 12 inches even, because we're going to use this tail to sew other things on. Okay, so just, you know, leave about 10 inches or 12, let's say 12. I'm leaving close to 14 just because I hate to run out of thread. It's probably a little bit too much. I always err on the side of too much, but leave that tail, and you know, you can wind the tail up. Just put it aside. It shouldn't really bother you. You can put a paper clip on it, something. You know, sometimes I do that, but I usually just leave it, and it's fine. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put on my needle 1 pearl. Let me move these over here. A seed bead, a pearl, a seed bead, a pearl, a seed bead, so we're all 15-ohs now. Another pearl, it's 4 pearls, and another 15-oh. Okay, so I'm going to bring those down. I'm going to pull in a little bit, because I know some of you have asked me to do some more close-ups. I'm going to bring those down to the end of my thread. So I have 4 pearls, and I have 4 15-oh seed beads. I'm going to just make those into a circle and sew through the lot of them till I get past my tail. So it's like that. See, it's going to look like that. So keep going around. Don't go around a ton of times. Don't worry if this is loose. We have lots of thread to go through these little beads. So I'm not worried about it being loose at all right now. Everything's going to be sewn in really nice and tight. So come through all of your pearls. Come through the pearl next to your stop bead. Come past that one. Okay? And I want you to come out a seed bead. So you see you're coming out of a seed bead there. Take 3 15-ohs. You're coming out of the bottom, this seed bead right here. Just go around and through the next pearl until those form a picot. Now you want to make sure that forms a little picot. I'm going to come in tight on the picot for a second. See? So that's going to form a picot. All right? So do that. Come through the pearl and the next seed bead. Pick up 3 seed beads, 15-ohs. Do that again. Coming out of this 15-oh, go through the other side, through the pearl and the next 15-oh. You have 2 picots on now. See? Do that again. Three seed beads. Coming out of the bottom of this one, go through the top and come through the next pearl. Make sure it picots, and then make sure you come through that next 15-oh, and that's the one that is next to where your stop bead is. Okay? Pick up 3 15-ohs. Come around again, make a picot, come through the next pearl, and this is what you have. So you have 4 pearls with 4 picots in between each pearl. All right? So now I'm going to try and stay in just to give you the next step. So come through the bottom bead of the next picot, come through the side bead of the next picot, and then the top bead. So I want you coming out of the top bead of that picot. Okay, so there you are. So you've just sewn around the picot to get to that top bead. Then take 1 15-oh, a bicone, a 15-oh, a bicone, a 15-oh, a bicone, and a 15-oh. Okay, so you've got 3 bicones and 4 15-ohs. You're coming out of the top. I know I'm so close on this of this picot. Just hop over to the top of the next picot, just like that. Hold it. This is what you have. Okay? I'm going to pull back just a teeny bit. Oops. Okay. Take 15-oh, a bicone, a 15-oh, a bicone, a 15-oh, a bicone, and a 15-oh. Same thing. you're coming out of the top of this picot, hop over to the top of the next, just like that. Pull that through. Okay. So you want to do that 2 more times, and then meet me back here, and we'll do the next step. See you in a minute. Okay, so I've come back just to do the last one with you because I want to make sure you can you get through the next picot. So take a 15-0, a bicone, 15-0, bicone, 15-0, bicone, and a 15-0. So 4 15-0s, 3 bicones, and then you want to make sure that you come through the top of that picot. Okay? So you want the picot. You're not coming through this bead, you're coming through the top of the picot. See right there? Okay, and give that a pull. All right? Because that's going to sit those beads. So you're going to end up with 3 beads here, 3 beads in between each unit, and then 3 beads between your pearls. So you're going to have 6 beads. So just hop through the top of the picot, and then you're going to come out the top of the picot, and then you want to advance. I hope you can see this. I'm going to pull in for this. You want to, you're coming out right here, so you want to advance through there. So that's the seed bead, bicone seed bead, and then come through the next bicone and seed bead, and then you're going to add some more beads on. So if you want to think of it sort of as units, so these, like, maybe see these are 4 units here. So here's the 2 sides of the unit, and that's the top of the unit. We're going to be working with these beads on the top of each unit. Okay, so let me pull out. Oops, let me pull out just a teeny bit. Okay, so now what I want you to put on your needle is a seed bead, a bicone, a seed bead, a pearl, a seed bead, a bicone, and a seed bead. So you have, this is what's on your needle. I'm trying to get the shadows. Here we go. Okay. There we go. One seed bead there. So we have a seed bead, a bicone, a seed bead, a pearl, a seed bead, a bicone, and a seed bead. You're coming out of this, so this is like, let's say this is the unit. You're coming out of the seed bead, bicone, seed bead, hop over to the next unit, and go through the seed bead, bicone, seed bead. Okay? And that's going to put on, it's going to look like so. Okay? Take a seed bead, a bicone, a seed bead, a pearl. Give me your little pearl. I love these little pearls. A seed bead, a bicone, and a seed bead. That same thing on every, every time. You're coming over to this next unit up here of 3. Come through the seed bead, bicone, and seed bead. Put that on. See, we're starting to get a square. See how it's starting, how it becomes, it's already becoming the unit. I'll do one more. Seed bead, bicone, seed bead, pearl, seed bead, bicone, seed bead. Okay, same amount. You're coming around to this next unit here. Go through the top, seed bead, bicone, seed bead. Just like that. Pull. Okay. I'm going to let you finish the last one on your own, and then we'll continue on. All right, so put that last one on and I'll meet you back here. Okay, so I'm just going to do the last one again because, you're adding it to this whole group here, so I want to make sure you go through the right beads. So go through here's the unit right here. So forget about this. See, that's the unit. So go through the seed bead, the bicone, and just the seed bead. Just like that. Okay, so we'll pull that one on. So there you go. We've got our little unit. How cool is that? All right, so now you can just sew around the unit, say once. We're gonna have a lot of thread going through these beads, so I wouldn't do like too much crazy reinforcing right now, but just to sort of get things firming up a little bit, just kind of sew around each side, and then we're going to put this needle down, and we're going to work with the thread on the inside. So I'm just sewing around, just to just to sort of reinforce it just a little bit. I'm just loving these pearls. I know I keep saying that, but I think that's a really nice thing to have, is a 5mm pearl. And you know, I don't know why I haven't used them before. They're just really very versatile. They really fit into a lot of spaces, and they're kind of pretty. Okay, so I've just sewed around my unit a bit, and I'm just going to leave that. So now we have our unit here. Okay, so take your thread that is coming out of your the center. That was the tail. Take off your bead, your stop bead. Don't forget to take the stop bead off, because if you forget to take it off, you're going to sew your stop bead. It's going to be part of your project, and you don't want that. Okay, I'm just flattening out my Fireline. Every once in a while, I like to show you these things. Got a little Fireline on me there. So flatten it out and thread your needle. I need to go off for a second and get myself, sorry about that, get myself another needle. You can use the same needle. I'm just getting another needle just because I just happen to have 4,000 needles over here. So thread your tail, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to take our little 15-0s here. And so if you look at your unit, okay, you're coming out of a pearl. Okay, so you see that pearl? So I want you to just go to the next seed bead. That's the one in between the two pearls, and come through there with nothing, just your thread. I just want to position you for the beads going on. All right, so then pick up 8 15-0s. Okay, that's 8. Okay, and then I want you just to hop over to the next seed bead that's in between the next two pearls. Does this look familiar? If you did any of the Crazy for Pearls earrings, or if you did the rings, this is exactly what we did. So we're coming out of that seed bead, the seed bead between the pearls. Pick up 8 more. Over the earrings, that's right. So this should be pretty familiar if you've done the Crazy for Pearls. Okay, go through the next seed bead. Okay, so continue doing that until you get all the way around to the beginning, and then what I want you to do is I want you to reinforce. So I want you to go around all these seed beads, including the one in between the pearls, again. And if you can do it 3 times, that's even better, because that's what's going to hold these beads that are surrounding your pearls. They're going to hold them in place, and it's going to stay in place. Don't make it too tight, otherwise they'll buckle up, but just make it so they stay nice in place. So at least a couple of rounds. Go around a couple of times, and then meet me back here when you're done, and we'll finish this unit. Okay, see you in a minute. Okay, so we're back. So I've done all my my reinforcing, and really reinforce it because you want those to stay. And I didn't make it too tight. I just want them to just surround the pearls nicely, and they do very nicely. And then just take your needle, and you're coming through a seed bead, just poke through to the other side, because we're going to sew that in on this side. So this is what the back looks like. Okay, so we're coming out of a seed bead, so just kind of make your way through the pearls a little bit. I don't want to do too much, too many knots here because I don't want you to see any knots. So just kind of come through, going through the seed bead and then through the pearl. Okay. And then, if you want, you can tie a couple of knots. Don't go too crazy right now because you can always tie them at the end. I like to keep the unit rather loose at this point so that we can really play with everything. So just by going through the pearls and the seed beads around the side, it's just really enough at the moment. So I would just leave that. You can just hold that aside. So so we've kind of reinforced on the back a little bit. Here's the front, really nice. Looks good. Okay. So now that we've done with that, here's our other thread. This is our outside thread. And what we want to do at this point is we want to reinforce a little more because it's still rather limp. So come around a little bit. Let's say come around like so, coming through a seed bead, a bicone, a seed bead, and then I'm going to make a turn. I'm going to come up through these 3 seed beads. So I'm just going through everybody again here. Okay, coming down through the middle of these 2. I'm going to come up right at the middle of that one, between those 2 beads. Do you see how I'm doing that? And then I'm going to go up, and I'm going to go through these 3. I'm going to pull in just so you can see the 3 I'm going through. Okay, those 2, and there are 3, but you may not be able to get through all 3. And then this one. Okay, and then down the bicone. Wow, that's close. Hope that's not too close. And then keep doing that around and reinforce until you come out of one of these sides, one of the seed beads here. Okay, and what we're going to do after we do that, and I'll just let you go off and do that now, make another unit or make all your units. I'm just going to make one and I'm going to attach them when I get back. So do that little bit of reinforcing of the center bicones and then come out the top seed bead right here, and I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, so I've made another unit, and you've made 5, 6, 4, whatever it takes for your bracelet. And this is what I want you to do. So I sewed in my my back tails a little bit. I went around the beads, remember to go around the pearls, maybe make a couple little knots, and then just burn up your thread. You're pretty secure there, just with a couple of knots, because we've been reinforcing quite a bit. So I want you to situate your pieces this way. So I want you have a a needle and or a thread hanging, coming out from, because you were doing the outside of the unit, so you still have that needle and thread. You should have at least a foot of thread on, and you've just put that in your mat. So I want one unit this way because I want us to put the clasp on right here. And then this unit face in this direction because I want to sew these 2 together like that. Okay, and then you're going to do that all the way down with your last unit with the thread coming out, either the bottom or the top, so that you can sew the ending or the clasp on. Now, if you want to do it separately, you can certainly do that also. I'm all for sewing on the clasp, doing the clasp separately, because if it breaks, then you don't have to redo the whole bracelet. But I'm just going to do this. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So I think I'll just do these together for, because it's just easier on camera to do that. So here we go. That's how I'm set up. Got one, thread coming out of here, one coming out of here. So if you look at our units, we're going to sew them together just like that. Okay. So you've got your thread coming out of this top, and I'll pull in for this. You've got the thread coming out of this top 15-0, just come down this whole line of beads on the other unit. Okay, so you don't have to do them all at the same time, just do a few. Pull those down, do a few more. there. So I see what we're doing here. We're going to join these two units. Oops, sorry. We're going to join those two units just like that. So keep coming down. Just come out of the seed bead on the bottom. Okay, so your units are joined now at the top. I'm just going to turn them around just so it's comfortable for me to sew, and just go up the same way. So go through the seed bead and then this whole line of beads. I'm going to try to get as many as I can. I think I got them all there. Okay, just check on the other side and make sure you didn't miss anything. Okay, so now you're sewn together. Okay, you have two units together. Now I just want you to reinforce that, and it was really hard on the other bracelet, but this one you've got lots of space in there to reinforce, so just keep coming down and around. Do it twice. Do it, see if you can do it 3 times, and then meet me at the top and we'll go on to the to doing the clasps. Okay, so we're back. Now I've come around and my pieces are pretty securely woven. Just keep going around and around, and then I want you to, you're coming at the top seed bead here, just come across the top of the last unit. So we're making this the last unit. I'm going to put one end of the clasp on, and that little extender piece. So just keep coming through. Come through all the way to the end. Okay. Make sure you're getting you're not getting caught. I got a little caught there. Be careful about that, because you don't want to get caught that way. Okay, come out the pearl, and I just want to make sure where I'm coming out here, and the seed bead. Okay, all right. So what we want to do now is, because my bracelet doesn't fit me with another unit on it, I'm going to put this end piece on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm really sort of going to mimic what's already there. Okay, so we're going to take, and I just want to make sure I'm doing this right. Yes. Okay, we're going to take a seed bead, a bicone, 2 more seed beads, a bicone, 2 more seed beads, and we're using 15 O's here, a bicone, and a seed bead. Okay, so this is what you have on your needle. You have 1 seed bead, a bicone, 2 seed beads, a bicone, 2 seed beads, a bicone, and 1 seed bead. Okay, so I'm going to take that, a little piece of thread coming out of this guy, and I'm just going to come around, come back up. It's almost like we're sewing another piece on. Just come back up all these beads again. Okay, so you know, do them as they fit. Come through the bicone. Okay, so do you see how we've put on a little extender there that matches the rest of our bracelet? So just reinforce this one time, and then pull that out there, and then meet me. So you're coming around, come around, and then meet me at the top here, and we'll start, we'll put on one end of the clasp. All right, see you in a minute. Okay, so we're back, and I've got my little extender on. Let me move this up. I've got my little extender piece on, and I've come out of the second seed bead at the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 7, 1, 2, to move my glasses for a second, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seed beads, an O bead. I'll put this down. An O bead. I'll pull in a teeny bit. Okay. My humongous crystal. So pretty. Okay. 3 seed beads. Now it might be too big, that crystal. I don't know. I kind of like them big. Sorry, don't put 3 seed beads on. Put your next O bead on. If you're going to use the O beads. 3 seed beads. If you don't have O beads, you can use just an 11-0 there, just to give it, you know, just make it look pretty. Okay, pass the 3 seed beads. I'm going to move these out of the way so we're not confused by all those beads. So skip these 3, go back through the O bead, the crystal, humongous crystal, and the O bead. Okay, just like that. Make sure you're getting a picot at the end, because if you don't, it's gonna get, it's not, you won't be able to picot it later if you've sewn things in. It's just gonna stay that way. So then I want you to take, and I'm gonna check my bracelet because I just did make this over the weekend, so I want to make sure I'm doing the right amount of beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so take 5 15-0s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I want you to come through the bicone. Okay, come through the bicone, and that's going to sit that crystal right there. Now it slants out to the side a little. That's what you want. So you're putting a few more seed beads on one side than the other, but I want you to. It's going to make it sit properly. Okay, so now come through all these seed beads, come around, come through, you're going to come through these seed beads, okay, you're going to come around, you're going to come down, come through here, go back around, watching me, come through these beads, and out this seed bead, okay, so again, come through, go through these guys, go down, come back through, go around, and come out this seed bead, because I want you to be set up to put the other one on. Okay, see you in a minute. Okay, I'm back just for a second because I want to make sure you go around. I know you know this, but you know, I just want to make sure for those of you who are beginners. So I've reinforced this unit, and then I want to come back. So I've come down, I'm coming out of this group on the end, and then I want to go through. I don't want to go this way. I want to go back down this seed bead here. Hold on a second. I want to go through this seed bead. Okay, like so. I know it's got it going through a lot of little seed beads. And then, oh, I'm sorry, I don't want to go through that. Oh, yes, I do. Okay. And then I want you to go down the second row down here, one back. Because if you go forward, then your thread is not into position. Your thread is going this way, not this way. And you want your thread, you want to be positioned to go in this direction. That's the whole deal about moving this way. Okay? Just how the beads ended up. You know, sometimes, you know, it you know, you just end up where you have to sew around a little bit in order to get your thread in the right position. And if you didn't sew around, then your thread would not be in the right position. It would look wonky. Okay, believe me, it would. I've done it so many times. Okay, so you see, you want to be coming up here, and then you want to come out this seed bead, right? On the side, right there. Okay? Come on, you. Come on out. There we go. All right? So that sets you up to put your next. So you see your thread is going in this direction, so it's setting you up to put on your next crystal. So again, 7 seed beads. An O bead. I'll just put this down for now. Your other, excuse my arm, crystal. Okay, I'm running out of thread a little bit. An O bead. 3 15-0s. Come on down. Skip your 3 15-0s. Come through the O bead, the crystal and the O bead. Add 5 seed beads. Okay, and then I want you to come through the bicone to get this piece on. Okay, so there you go. See, you have them both on, and they're both even. Okay, so just reinforce, and then make a couple of knots, pull them in into your bicones, and then we'll start on this side. Okay, see you in a minute. Okay, we're back. We're almost done. So we've got our one end on. Looks pretty good. So now I'm going to come to the other side. I'm going to do the same thing on this side that we did on this side, only we're going to put some loops on. Okay, so we're going to take a seed bead, a bicone, 2 seed beads, a bicone, 2 seed beads, a bicone, and a seed bead. Now remember, this is our ending for where if we haven't had enough, if we didn't, we didn't make it with an entire section. So this is the way to extend it. If you don't need to extend it and your pieces work just fine, let's say you have 5 that fit, just do your endings like so. Just like you did for Burnished Lace, and you could check back on Burnished Lace to, to see. So on our needle we have a seed bead, a bicone, 2 seed beads, a bicone, 2 seed beads, a bicone, and a seed bead. All 11 O's. We're coming out of the top here. Just going to go back up, just like we did before. Okay. Go through all our beads. Okay. And then so there's your, your extender piece. Okay, so go around again and reinforce, and then meet me back up at the top, and you'll be coming out of this seed bead right here. Okay, so meet me back here after you've reinforced, and we'll continue on. Okay, we're coming down to the wire. Okay, so I've come out of the second seed bead after reinforcing my piece, and what I've done, so here, you see where we're coming out right before the bicone? I've added 7, 2, 4, 6, 7 15 O's, an 11 O, a 4 millimeter bicone, an 11 O, and I put 27 15 O's to go around this clasp, this crystal. So skip all 27, come through the 11 O, the bicone, and the 11 O. Bring that down. Looks like it might be big, but I'm just making a sample. So okay, so come down around. Let me see how many I put. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I'm sort of changing the number a little bit on this. So I have 7, so I'm going to put 5, like I did on the other side, because this is a different clasp. So I'm going to put 5. All right, and then I'm going to come through my bicone. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other side. So that worked out pretty well, actually. That looks good. Come around, come down, come through, come around, and then meet me on this side, okay? And then we'll put the other loop on. We're almost done. Okay, so I put the same thing on the other side. So, I did what I said, I went around, and then I came through these again and came out of that seed bead. And all this, you're going to be master reinforcers by the time you're done with this tutorial. But it's a really good thing to learn how to get around to get into proper position, or how to maneuver a little bit. And all this reinforcing is great for this bracelet because it's very lacy, and you want to make sure it's nice and strong. You can even go around this twice. You've done 2 passes, but you could do 3. So anyway, we're going to skip the 27 beads, come through the 11 O, the bicone, and the 11 O. We're going to add 5 seed beads, 15 O's. Okay. going to come through the bicone, and that puts on our other side. So reinforce this, just go up your seed beads, like so. Go around your loop. I'm not going to, do that while I'm here, but just go around the loop, come down, tie in some knots, and then we'll take a look at our beautiful piece. See you in a minute. Okay, we're done. So we have 2 baby bracelets right here, 2 minis. We have the Burnished Lace Redux, and here's Burnished Lace. I'll just lay it over my wrist a little bit just for you to look at it in each color. So that's that gorgeous sapphire, and here's the amethyst, and here's the purple. Loving these colors. And wouldn't this look pretty in some of maybe just the opal, those opal colors, which are so gorgeous, like the that sort of amethysty opal, I forgot what that's called, but it was so pretty that we used, here we go, that we used in this. So how about that with an opal, or with the Pacific opal, or Caribbean opal? They're all just so pretty. So there you go. There's your bracelet. Okay, here's your original. I'm going to put that aside because this is for the Redux. So we'll put those out for you here. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you'll make it with the pearls, because if you like it, then I'm going to clasp my mini. Okay, so here's my mini. Cute. So they're all kind of cute. You don't need the 2-hole beads to do this, and I think that's great that it can be morphed into a 1-hole bead project. So there you go. There's your Burnished Lace Redux. I just wanted to give you a quick look at something I'm working on. So I took this little unit and I did one of those, and I'm going to make a I just love this. I love sort of the rough look of it. So I'm going to make a ring out of this, and I started playing with the band sort of like that, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But in the meantime, I just wanted to, I always like giving you a heads up on what could be coming up. Okay. All right. Enjoy your bracelet, and I'll see you on the next video. Don't forget to subscribe if you like this channel, and join us on Facebook, post on Facebook, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.